Honorable additional appointment of new deputy committee chairman of 4 committees, and they are as follows: constituency outreach. The deputy chairman will now be Honorable Sadiq Abbas Tafida. We have committee on poverty alleviation. The deputy will now be Honorable Alexander Mascot. We have the committee on South-South development. You have Honorable Kabiru Yusuf Makama as deputy. And then committee on livestock, the new deputy will be Honorable Isosa Iyawe. Honorable colleagues, I'm sure you are aware that the World Hypertension Day was observed on the 17th of May, 2025. So today marks the commemoration in collaboration with NCD's Alliance, Federal Ministry of Health, and the National Assembly. This year's global theme, Know Your Numbers, Control Your Blood Pressure, aligns with the 10th House of Representatives Legislative Agenda on social sector reforms and improved public health responses. Sequel to the approval earlier given, we agreed that members of the NCDs would be here with us to observe our plenary and to also give us some brief introduction to what they are doing, and also highlight some areas that will be of interest to members to guard against this very, very dangerous health issue we have in the country. And the list of the delegation that will probably be here with us will include Professor D.K. Oji, who is coming from University of Abuja Cardiac Research Center, and you'll be the lead presenter. We also have Professor Akin Osibonju, Executive Director, NCD Alliance Nigeria. We have Dr. Chika Dibia, who is the Vice President, National Cancer Society. Dr. Malau Mangai Toma, representative of the Federal Ministry of Health. We have Professor Oluremi Olitimo, President, United Nations Agency in Nigeria. We have Dr. Dewan Mary, representative of World Health Organization, and many more. So with your kind permission, I will call on the leader of the House to move for the suspension of all our relevant rules to allow us admit these very important visitors.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move that we suspend the relevant rules to allow admittance of strangers into the chambers. I so move.
The minority leader, please can you kindly second?
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion as moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Leader, please kindly assign, okay, the Deputy Chief is around. Please, if you can kindly escort our visitors to the chamber, please. Any member with petition? Any member with petition? I'll start with Honorable Hussaini Jallow.
Your Excellency, Right Honorable Speaker, sir, I'm Hussaini Mohammed Jallow, representing Igebe Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. My petition is from Barrister E.C. Efime and Co. against Afro community's rejection of planned underground laying of petroleum, oil and gas conveying pipelines across their towns by Sterling Oil Exploration and Energy Production Limited, signed by E.C. Ofime and Co., N.S. Chukwuka Ofime. With the permission of the Honorable Speaker, I would like to lay this permission. Speaker, sir.
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? Honorable Joe, okay.
Thank you, the People's Speaker, distinguished colleagues. My name is Barrister J.C. Okejo Onakalusi. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I represent the Nigerians, especially the habit of Lagos Oshodi Solo. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I have a strong-worded petition here by Petro-Equipped Nigeria Limited, signed by the MD of the company, Mr. Epa Lawson, petition against Serpent Contract Nigeria Limited for systematic operation of a Nigerian company, financial exploitation, and blatant disregard to the rule of law in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker and distinguished police, the petitioner has the prayers engrafted in this petition. I seek the leave of this honorable House to lay this petition.
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? Yes, my brother, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, my name is Ibe Okwara Osonwa Okabo Hafia, and I represent the very prosperous people of Aruchukwu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from God's own state with God's own governor. I come from Abia. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition here by one of my constituents called Mrs. Mary Lawrence Ejogu, and her petition is against the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Her husband was a member of the service and was missioned to Singapore and died there. Her petition is for the ministry to refund her of expenses for repatriation of the body, as well as the medical expenses, which the ministry had said they would do and have dilly-dallied for almost a decade. I seek the leave of the House to lay this petition.
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? Petitions? No? All petitions are referred to the Committee on Public Petitions for forwarding. We have here with us members of the delegation, as I earlier announced, under the leadership of Professor D.K. Oji, who is coming from University of Abuja Cardiac Research Center. Prof, you're welcome. Please, can you stand up for recognition? You are most welcome. Honorable colleagues, as I said earlier, just last week we observed the World Hypertension Day, and we find it necessary because of the importance of such event to invite such august visitors to come and be here with us, to identify with us, and we identify with them as well, and give them 5 minutes for the delegation to brief House on this very important subject matter, and then thereafter perhaps resolve as to what the way forward would be, whether there will be further engagements with them outside the chamber. So without any waste of time, and with your kind permission, I will want to call on the leader of the delegation, Professor D.K. Oji, to please rise and brief the House of his mission to our chamber this morning.
Speaker of House of Representatives of Nigeria, the person of Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin. Actually, the leader is Professor Akin Oshimbogu, so I will be making the presentation. Can you please give him permission to say a few things before I go ahead?
But we are only giving you not more than 5-10 minutes, so
yes, sir.
If you want to talk jointly, then you have to be brief, all the two of you. Please,
yes,
Prof,
sir.
you can go ahead.
Professor Chibu.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members of the House, I thank you for this privilege to be here this morning. I think that I must commend the House for recognizing this very urgent and important matter. In 1990, when we conducted the national survey, there were less than 10% of people between the ages of 18 and 65 who were hypertensive. As at today, 40% of people above the age of 18 hypertensive. So this is a very urgent matter, and I must commend the House for recognizing the importance. Professor Oji from the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital will give us further details about this matter. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Prof. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much, sir, once again, and thanks to the honorable members of this House and everyone that has come on behalf of NCD Alliance and other partners. So I will go straight to what we have. It is well known that the burden of NCDs is soaring in Nigeria like other parts of the world. Cardiovascular diseases, which are diseases affecting the heart and blood vessels, lead the pack, with hypertension occurring in over 38% of the adult population in Nigeria. If you translate that, that means that every 4 in 10 adults in Nigeria has high blood pressure. And stroke, which is one of the consequences of high blood pressure, occur in 29 of every 100,000 individuals in our beloved nation. Other NCDs include cancers, which are soaring, diabetes, sickle cell anemia, chronic obstructive airway diseases, mental illnesses, and of course injuries. So based on this, I would like to talk about strengthening health through legislation with emphasis on addressing hypertension and non-communicable diseases in our nation. And this is in the spirit of the World Hypertension Day, which started 17th of May and runs throughout this month. Now, the risk factors fueling these non-communicable diseases, especially cardiovascular diseases, include hypertension, diabetes, smoking, and others like sedentary lifestyle. As we can imagine, by the way of cardiovascular diseases, the commonest risk factor is high blood pressure, which I said earlier is ravaging our nation because of the complications of stroke, heart failure, chronic kidney diseases, name others. And hypertension, by the way, is the #1 risk factor for morbidity and mortality all over the world. So it's not just for our country. So if you take care of hypertension, you reduce a lot of the death in Nigeria and all over the world. NCDs are the leading cause of mortality and sudden death syndrome among Nigeria's most productive age group, which is quite worrisome. And when we talk about the most productive age group, we are looking at the age group of about 30 to 69. It has been estimated that 29% of all health-related deaths is due to non-communicable diseases, and 22% of Nigerian adults die prematurely every year from non-communicable diseases. And leading these are cardiovascular diseases, fueled mainly by high blood pressure. It has also been shown from research that 24% of household food expenditure in Nigeria is eventually spent on NCDs treatment, which falls within catastrophic spending. One thing about NCDs, especially cardiovascular diseases, is that they don't spare the poor from the rich. You know, even members of this house are also at risk of cardiovascular diseases. Now, NCDs, especially cardiovascular diseases, I say again, will not differentiate from the poor people from the rich people. Now, the ever-increasing burden of NCDs, especially cardiovascular diseases, means that something must be done urgently. Now, coordinated by the NCD Division of Federal Ministry of Health in collaboration with different stakeholders like the NCD Alliance of Nigeria, which is leading this visit, the vision, mission, and goal of NCD control in Nigeria are well spelled out, with the vision being to have a healthy Nigerian population, we reduce burden of NCDs and enhance quality of life for socio-economic development, while the mission is to promote healthy lifestyle in Nigeria and provide a framework for strengthening the healthcare system using a multi-sectoral approach for the prevention and control of NCDs. Now, the overarching goal of NCD control is to significantly reduce the burden of NCDs in Nigeria in line with the targets of the third Sustainable Development Goal, that is 3.4. Although slowly, Nigerian NCD response landscape is advancing. From the health sector plan launched in 1992, the National Strategic Plan of action on prevention and control of NCDs in 2013 to the most recent National Multi-Sectorial Action Plan for the prevention and control of non-communicable disease, there has been some progress on the policy side with much to be done on implementation. There are policies, but they are begging for implementation. The National Multi-Sectorial Action Plan, which is the latest, aims to reduce the burden of hypertension by 25%. When it was launched in 2019, we said reduction of hypertension by 25% in 2025. This is already 2025. 80% provision of population screening for early NCD management and affordability of basic technologies and essential medicine for major NCD management is also part of that, the goal of the National Multi-Sectorial Action Plan. And lastly, reduction of salt consumption in our food, because the more salt in the food or in the population, the higher the blood pressure in that population. To guide the reduction of NCDs in the country, the NCD division of the Federal Ministry of Health has developed some policy documents, including that on salt reduction, reduction of non-communicable disease, treatment of hypertension, and the task sharing and task shifting policy for reduction of NCDs. In addition, there's also what we call a very simplified algorithm or protocol for hypertension control at the primary care level, which allows the primary healthcare facilities to be able to train to treat high blood pressure. To address the burden of cardiovascular diseases, which is the commonest form of non-communicable diseases, there are a few programs on controlling hypertension in the community level which are ongoing. One of the foremost is the National Hypertension Control Initiative led by Resolve to Save Life, which is more like an NGO, which uses the same simplified protocol shown earlier, and are working in about 500 primary healthcare facilities in Ogun State and in Kano, looking at uncomplicated hypertension, treating them at the primary care level. We also have the Heart Health, ADI Health Africa, which is in 19 states across the geopolitical region, and is funded by a pharmaceutical industry, AstraZeneca. We also have the hypertension treatment in Nigerian program in 60 primary healthcare facilities in the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, funded by NIH from the US, and that is running through all the local government from Abaji to Amak. One important thing I will say is that with this program, we have been able to reduce the burden of high blood pressure in this community. Take, for example, the National Hypertension Control Initiative. They are having a control of blood pressure for about 37%. You might say 37% is small, but look at where we're coming from. About 5-6 years ago, it was about 11%. When we started our work 2019 and looking at this primary healthcare facility treating hypertension, our baseline control was 23%. Today, it's hovering at about 57-60% after about 5 years. However, these are initiatives funded by foreign agencies and other people. It cannot be sustained. We have to have a good plan to sustain these programs. And so, to really conclude, I have these prayers on behalf of the team. Number one, dedicated budget line for hypertension and non-communicable diseases, to recommit to meeting the 15% Abuja Declaration target for health sector funding with clear NCD targets, especially expansion of hypertension in a national health insurance coverage. One problem is that medications are getting more and more expensive. Most of our patients cannot afford medication. We need to register more people under the health insurance scheme. The basic healthcare provision fund has to be expanded. The community insurance, we have to do something. Secondly, support funding and policies for integrating hypertension screening, diagnosis, and management into primary healthcare nationwide. That is the only way to go. We have to take care to the people in the community. If we don't do that, the stroke, the heart failure, the chronic kidney disease, they will keep on soaring. We have to catch them young and treat them in those primary healthcare facilities. And that is the move of this Federal Ministry of Health and the government, that they want to integrate NCDs into the primary healthcare sector for the first time. Number three, facilitate the release of funding to complete and publish the NCD STEP survey. There was a STEP survey last year on NCD looking at what is a burden, re-burden in Nigeria that has not been completed because of funding. Can there be a way that funds can be released?
Order, please. Order, please. Members, order, please.
Fourthly, strengthen oversight on the implementation of NCD-related policies. For example, commitment on hypertension and diabetes. Support relevant MDAs to implement regulations on processed food for excess salt, sugar, and industrial transfer. The type of food we are eating is driving some of the cardiovascular, driving the hypertension, diabetes. We have to be quite serious with legislation in order to curb this. Recommit to meeting the 15% Abuja declaration target. We cannot overemphasize that. I've said that before. Support the local production of NCD medicines, including antihypertensives, and poor procurement of medicines to induce medication pricing. We have to reduce medication pricing. We have to take a clue from what India has done, manufacturing broadly. I'm rounding off now. Repurpose existing medical mission funds to health insurance coverage for constituent, especially of primary health care facility. Then broaden syntax to cover excess salt production and scale up of sugar sweetened beverages and tobacco tax, and utilize this for NCD control fund. And lastly, can we beg members of this honorable house that they may wish to consider, as part of their constituency project, payment for health insurance package for members of their constituency. If we put some of these things into action, I bet you that the sudden deaths we are having, the strokes we are having, the heart failure, the chronic kidney diseases, they will reduce drastically. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Professor D.K. Oji. I think it will be of interest to members to know the delegation. If I call your name, please just you rise up for recognition. We have, beside Professor D.K., we have Professor Akin Osibojun, the Executive Director of NCD Alliance. Thank you so much, Prof. We have Dr. Chika Dibia. Is he or she around? No? Dr. Malau Mangai Toma. You're welcome. We have Professor Oluremi Olutimo. You're welcome. We have Dr. Dewan Mary. You're welcome. We have Dr. Oguayim Oguchuku Charles. Not around. We have Emeritus Professor Mark Agaji, the past president. You're welcome, sir. We have Comrade Jama D. Medan. You're welcome. We have Dr. Oliver Nwanko. Welcome. Dr. Mansour Ramalan. You're welcome. We have Abiola Awe. Most welcome. We have Dr. Dele Omotola, the Director NCD Alliance, around? Okay. Is there anyone we have not announced his name? Everyone has been recognized? Dr. Leah, you're welcome. Okay, from the WHO, you're most welcome. Thank you. And honorable members, it would be of interest to you to know that NCD has also provided some blood pressure checks here in the National Assembly. I believe the clerk will give us more clarification as to the areas where the blood pressure checks are ongoing right now. But just of interest to you, if we are interested in getting your blood pressure measured, you can take that opportunity free of charge during the day, maybe after plenary. Thank you so much, Prof, for such a very elaborate remarks. I don't know whether members have any question for the team. Any member who has any question for the team? If not, we'll refer this submission to our relevant health committee to engage you further. Thank you so much for coming. God bless you all. Thank you. Yeah. You can take your leave. Honorable colleagues, today, Honorable Barrister Itane Bene Benedict has a motion that he deems very urgent for your kind consideration. I will call on Honorable Benedict to rise and move his motion, if he's around. Honorable Benedict.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. In spite of the insecurity that is making people change their names, my name still remains Ben Etana Bene, and I represent Okbe Sapele Uwe Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker and my dear colleagues, I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, my motion is of urgent public importance on the need for a quick intervention by the National Emergency Management Agency in Jedo, Ugbokodo, and Ugoton communities in Okbe local government area of Delta State over the devastating wind and rainstorm that ravaged this stated community. Mr. Speaker, I'll be coming under the House rules. Please permit me to do so. I so move. Thank you.
Any seconder to the first leg of the motion? Yes, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Julius Babozo Pondi. I represent the people of Buti Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. It's Zonkame. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the first leg of the motion. Every move of my colleague, I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. The second leg of the motion, Honorable Ajilo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. My name is Umar Ajilo, member representing Magharibi Kudan Federal Constituency from Kaduna State. I rise to second the second leg of the motions ably moved by my brother from Delta State. I so second, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Honorable Benedict, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and my dear friends and colleagues who supported this motion. Mr. Speaker, we should note the devastating wind and rainstorm that ravaged the ever-tranquil and economic viable communities of Jedo, Ugbokodo, and Ugoton of Okpe local government area of Delta State. We also know that the havoc wreaked by the hurricane rainstorm on this community were unprecedented, leaving widespread destruction of properties and other means of livelihood of the people of the affected area, which runs into hundreds of millions. Aware that roofs of over 2,000 houses were completely or partially damaged, hundreds of buildings were destroyed, critical infrastructures like electricity and telecommunications installations were not spared, and thousands of residents of this community were rendered homeless. Mr. Speaker, I emphasize rendered homeless. Curious that the residents of these affected communities are in dire need of aids to cushion the effect of the disaster that befalls them. Believe that if urgent steps are not taken to come to the aid of these people of the affected communities as their means of livelihood were gone, coupled with this critical time of the impact of the nation's economy, it will spell doom on the people. Urgent shelter, building materials, household materials, financial assistance, and medical attention are imminent. The House resolve urge the National Emergency Management Agency to, as a matter of urgency, conduct a post-disaster assessment on the affected communities. Urge the National Emergency Management Agency to provide the affected communities with the needed relief materials and other necessary assistance. And finally, mandate the House Committee on Emergency and Disaster Management to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for this kind permission. Thank you. May God bless you, sir.
Any seconder to this motion? Any seconder? Honorable Sesi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Sesi Oluwaseun and I represent the entire people of Badagry Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. I rise today to second the motion ably moved by my honorable colleague. So, second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Emergency and Disaster Management for further legislative action. The second motion is coming from Honorable Mohammed Umar Bio. If Honorable Mohammed is around, please can you rise and move your motion?
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues. Mohammed Umar Bio is my name. I speak for the people of Baruten and Kayama Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I come from Kwara State.
Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I rise under Order 8 Rule 5, matter of urgent public importance, on the need to save the people of Bajibo community in Kayama local government area of Kwara State from further boat mishap that may lead to loss of more lives if there is no urgent government intervention. Mr. Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues, I therefore seek that we suspend our relevant rules to enable me to take my motion. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
The phrase properly. Ojogo. Honorable Matthew.
Thank you for this opportunity. Our most revered Speaker, distinguished colleagues, Donald Kemekamba Ojogo is my name. I represent the awesome people of Ilaje South, the federal constituency. I'm a very unique Ijoman from Ondo State, southwest Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that relevant sections of our rules be stepped down for him to take this matter of urgent public importance. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Second leg of the motion. Any seconder? Honorable Lanka.
Thank you very much, able Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues. I rise to support the second leg of the motion, heavily moved my colleague. I so second. Thank you very much.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Honorable, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues. Once again, Mohammed Omar Bio is my name. I speak for the people of Baruten and Kayama Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker,
Chair rules.
Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, I rise again on the need to save the people of Bajibo community in Kayama local government area of Kwara State from further boat mishap that may lead to lose of more lives if there is no urgent government intervention. Note that Bajibo community is a riverine area in Kayama local government area in Baruten and Kayama Federal Constituency of Kwara State. Also note that majority of people in Bajibo community are predominantly farmers, businessmen and women, trading in goods and services with the neighboring communities in Niger State. Cognizance that the only fastest and easiest means of transporting people and goods between Bajibo community and neighboring communities in Niger State is water transport. Observed that in their usual business activities, passengers while returning from market boarded a boat for neighboring communities in Niger State to Gbajibo on Wednesday, on the 14th of May, 2025, and unfortunately, the boat capsized. Saddened that 28 of the passengers on board lost their lives, while many survivors are wounded and hospitalized. Aware that this latest boat disaster came just months after more than 100 lives were lost in similar mishap in the same Gbajibo community. Worried that if government does not urgently intervene to ensure water travel safety in the riverine area of Kayama local government area of Kwara State and other local government areas in Nigeria, more boat disaster will happen and more lives may be lost. Resolves urge the federal government to intervene by ensuring enlightenment campaigns, provisions of infrastructures in water transport and enforcement of policies that will ensure water transport safety in Kayama local government area and Nigeria at large. Urge National Inland Waterways authorities to enforce loading limit, mandatory use of life jackets, ban on night boat travel, and other safety policies in water transport. Urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to provide relief materials for the victims of the disaster. Mandate House committees on inland waterways, hydrological services, HYPADEC, and emergency and disaster preparedness to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues, I so move.
Any seconder to this motion? Honorable Shatima.
Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Lawan Shatima Ali, representing Bursari Gaidam in Saripedal constituency and from Yobe State, sir. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my brother. I so second, sir.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the committees on inland waterways, hydrological services, and HYPADEC, and emergency and disaster preparedness for further legislative action. The last but not the least is a motion coming from the House Leader. If the House Leader is ready, please can you rise and move your motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm Professor Julius Ihonvere, of One Federal Constituency, Edo State. I have a motion of urgent public importance on incessant attacks and kidnappings in Owa East local government area. I would like to move that